show you Judges 16:7. Because we've already seen here, before you pull that up, that without a vision, you're in trouble. Look at your neighbor and say, without a vision, you're in trouble. Without a vision, you are absolutely in trouble today, and I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you again. Without a vision, if you are not a visionary, you're just an imaginary daydreamer, someone sitting in the church wishing coulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda, and just thinking about it all the time, you are absolutely in trouble. Your marriage is absolutely in trouble. Your finances is absolutely in trouble. Everything you're a part of is in trouble because you don't have a vision for it, which means that you're holding on day for day. Whatever can happen, whatever comes up, you try to adjust daily, but that's not how this world works. Real winners in life don't adjust day to day. They look down the road and see what's getting ready to happen, and they make the adjustments daily that they need to make to get to where they cast, church. And if you're not making adjustments daily and you're just waiting and watching things happening to you, it's no wonder why you can't stop restraint. It's no wonder why you've given up full rights of yourself to whatever's taking you over. We need to go from imaginary to visionary. Look at your neighbor and say, go from imaginary to visionary. You got to do that, church. I'm trying to tell you something about visionary. My God, you can't see things in terms of half and full and empty and full. You got to see the whole glass and say, God, what can I do with this glass? How can I use this glass? How can I cast this glass? We can't be seeing all these little ups and downs and side turns. We got to see the whole glass. Go into Judges 16. Go ahead and pull down. Now, before we go on this, we know the story of Samson and Delilah. We know Delilah was doing her thing and winking and blinking and got her hair down and all the perfume on and everything else, right? And she trying to get this man to tell his secret because they want to know where his great strength lies. And they want to know, they said, if we're going to defeat Samson, because Samson was beating folks down and doing everything, they want to know how they can defeat this mighty man of God. And so they sent the woman in to talk to him. Ain't that something? Boy, you want to know how to defeat him. You want to see a mighty man go down, you send a woman in there. I know the women ain't going to say that. That's okay. Ooh, Lord. Women got quiet on that. They said, is it me in there? What you mean, Pastor? Yeah, I know. You know what I'm talking about. You've been there before. That man wouldn't tell you something. What time you getting off? I don't know. Oh, come on, tell me. You know when you're getting off. And they turn around, okay, 11 o'clock. Okay, I ain't going to tell you, but okay, never mind. Y'all get it later. Then we just started verse 17. Talking about Samson. He denied her 2 times, wouldn't tell her where his great strength lied. Get down to verse 17. That he told her all his heart and said to her, no razor has ever come up on my head. He's given away the secret now. He's telling her where his great strength lies. He has given up the secret. By God. Look at that. For I have not been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaven, then my strength will leave me, and I shall become weak, be like another man. Ooh. So he was what? Ooh, he was accepted. He wasn't like the ordinary man. Oh my God, he was unusual. He wasn't the norm. My God. You see that? Okay, go further. Go further. 18. When Delilah saw that he had told her his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come on once more, for he had told me all his heart. So the lords of the Philistines came up to her and brought her the money in their hand. Continue. I love that part. Then she lulled him to sleep on her knees and called for a man that had him shaved off the 7 locks of his head. Then she began to torment him, and his strength left. Okay, stop there. Now we see that his strength left, right? So you would think they got what they wanted. They got what they came for, what they want. His strength. They want to know what was going on with his strength. You would think once the enemy found out the strength and got the strength, they would have left him alone. But no, baby. They went further because, let's go further. Somebody said, let's go further. Let's go further. And she said, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. So he awoke from his sleep and said, I will go out as before as other times and shake myself free. But he did not know the Lord had departed from him. Go down to 21. Woo! My God. Look at 21. Let's read it. 1, 2, 3, go. Then the Philistines took him and what? Now, wait a minute. Why did they need to put the man's eyes out anyway? They didn't need to do that. All they wanted to know was where his great strength lied. And they found out, didn't they? And they shaved his head. Okay, then you found it out. You shaved my head. He ought to have been okay. But the Bible said they went one step further and put his God, here we go. Here we go. Somebody say, here we go.
Here we go.
You got to understand something about vision, church. Even if they knew that even though they took his they cut his hair, he still had power. Because if you're really a strong man or woman of God, you can take all my might and everything around me, and if I still got my vision, I still got my power. My God. And they knew it. And so they said, even though we shaved his head and we took his might, we got to put his eyes out. Because if the man can still see, he still got power. If a woman of God still got her vision, she still got her power. You can take my car, house, everything else, but if I still got my vision, I can still get to where I'm trying to go. I can still get over there as long as I can see over there. But they said, oh my God, we took his power, but we need to take his vision. Because any strong man that still has his vision can still do what he needs to do. Y'all ain't listening to me. And see, some of y'all are losing stuff, but don't get mad when you lose it. As long as you got this, you still in the house. Come on, somebody. As long as you still can see something or see what it can be or visualize something, you still in the game. Don't worry about what they're taking from you over here. Don't worry about what you're losing over here. And just worry about your eyes. Because if they take your eyes, they take your power. Y'all listen to me. My God. They took your... And so they said, Samson is a strong man. Yes, we gonna cut his hair. And you know what? They ought to cut his arms off because he was strong. They should have cut his legs off. They said, we're not after his legs. We need to get his eyes. Can I tell you the enemy is after your eyes? My God. He is after your vision, church. He ain't really after the car. He just wants to disturb you long enough to make the vision cloudy so you cannot see anything. Because if he can cut your eyes out, he can cut your oil. See, some of y'all don't understand why you can't see it anymore. Because you let him get in there and cut your eyes off. He can take this stuff, but you got to keep your vision. You got to keep it, church. Visionaries don't look at you. They don't worry about what's happening on the outside. Real visionaries, they have this innate ability by which they draw from internal things. They draw from an internal foresight. They don't care about the surroundings and what's happening out here. They have something going on in here that keeps them forever burdened, keeps them forever seeing, and so you can take everything out here. But if you're a real visionary, you come back up again. You come back up again. And I'm afraid that, see, the reason why the church is not coming back up again is because we're not visionaries. We're daydreamers. We're imaginaries. We sitting up in there, oh, Lord, I see that, I see that, I see that. But you ain't did nothing. And so the enemy knows you are phony. He said, you ain't no real visionary because you haven't produced nothing in 5 years. You're just imaginary. And so I want the church to go from imaginary to visionary, because if you can get to visionary, guard it with all your heart. There are people in this room who got some extraordinary thoughts. You see things, my God, unusual. You see it in a way that you know is not even human. My God, who would even think of something like that? You can see it. You know you see it. Yet you sit on it every day. God has told you to get a piece of paper and pen out, start writing a book. He gave you wisdom on something. Haven't started the book, haven't even thought about the book, don't even look at how to set up a book, don't even do nothing to produce the book. My God, how many visionaries do we got in this room? Do we have visionaries or do we have imaginaries, daydreamers? Wish I could have, would have, been a. I hope so. Maybe it could happen, I don't know.